If you're listening to this, you're probably expecting a story about a radioactive spider, a billionaire with a god complex, or some glowing alien rock falling from the sky.
Sorry to disappoint you. My origin story starts with a mop, a bucket of cheap lemon floor cleaner, and a severely underfunded university physics department.
My name is Leo. 2 months ago, I was a sophomore majoring in communications, which is academic code for I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. I was surviving on 3 hours of sleep, black coffee, and the stale bagels they threw out behind the dining hall. To pay for my overpriced textbooks, I worked the graveyard shift for campus facilities. It was a Tuesday, midterms week. The kind of night where the air feels heavy and your brain feels like it's packed with wet sand. I was assigned to clean the basement of the Applied Sciences building. Nobody goes down there except the grad students who haven't seen sunlight since 2023. Specifically, I was cleaning Lab 404. Lab 404 was a mess. It looked like a junkyard for rejected sci-fi props. In the center of the room was this massive glass and steel cylinder. The plaque on the side read, High-Frequency Kinetic Resonator. To me, it just looked like a giant metal thermos leaking a puddle of glowing bluish sludge onto the linoleum. Now, the manual says, if you see unidentified glowing liquids, call hazmat. But the manual doesn't know that if I don't finish my shift by 3 a.m., I get docked half an hour's pay. So, I grabbed my mop. I pushed the wet strings of the mop into the blue puddle. Instantly, the hair on my arm stood straight up. The air tasted like pennies and burnt ozone. I remember thinking, that's weird, right before the lights in the lab flickered and died. Later, I found out lightning had struck the building's ancient lightning rod, bypassing the grounded wires and surging directly into the basement's power grid. Directly into the resonator. The machine shrieked. It wasn't a mechanical sound. It sounded almost alive. The blue puddle at my feet suddenly lit up like a neon sign. I tried to drop the mop and run, but my hands wouldn't open. My muscles locked. The energy didn't just shock me. It crawled up the wooden handle of the mop. It felt like liquid fire pouring into my veins, rushing up my arms and exploding directly behind my eyes. I didn't scream. I couldn't. The last thing I remember is the sound of shattering glass and then absolute heavy darkness. I woke up face down in my own bed in my dorm room. Still have no idea how I got there. Did campus security find me? Did I walk back in my sleep? The only clue was the muddy footprints on my rug and the fact that my entire body felt like a tuning fork that had just been struck against a brick wall. The alarm clock on my desk was blaring, 7 a.m. I had a microeconomics exam in an hour. College doesn't care if you had a near-death experience in a basement. You still have to pass econ. I rolled over, my head pounding. I squeezed my eyes shut and reached out blindly, just wanting to hit the snooze button. I didn't even touch the plastic. My hand hovered maybe 3 inches above the clock. I snapped my eyes open. My alarm clock wasn't just broken, it was vaporized. Melted plastic and little springs were scattered across my desk, smoking. I stared at the mess. Then, I slowly looked down at my hand. My fingers were trembling, and dancing between my knuckles were tiny, brilliant arcs of blue electricity. I completely failed my econ exam that day. But, to be fair, I suddenly had bigger problems to deal with.